Hello and welcome everybody, it's Karen. Thanks for stopping by today. I've got a couple of cards for you and I'm using this Cow Crazy stamp set. These are the Highland cows and I just fell in love with them. And then I've also taken the sentiment from this Cow Friends, that we belong together sentiment. And of course, I'm going to use the tartan papers because those are Scottish Highland cows, so you need some tartan. And I chose that one piece of paper. I thought that would go fairly well with my cows. And then I also decided I wanted to make this a shaped card. So I'm going to use the nested hexagon die set for this one. And I'm going to take the very largest one with that nice scalloped edge, and I took the fourth largest, so quite a jump there, but I wanted to have a fairly solid tartan frame. Now, to cut that frame, I put it on an angle because I was having a hard time seeing straight with all those lines going this way and that way. And so that was just the easiest way to do it. So on a piece of 8.5 by 11, I am marking off now. You can't see the bottom, I'm sorry, but I'm just marking how wide this card is going to have to be. So I just put a little pencil mark there and I'm going to trim it down at that point. And then in my scoreboard, I am just going to line it right up against that left-hand edge. And I wanted to see where I needed to score it. So it ended up being at 4 7/8. So that's going to be the height of the card. And it was about 5.5 inches wide, I believe. So it's a bit of a bigger card. But I'm going to fold it there, give that a good burnish. I trimmed the bottom off. And now I will keep the fold at the top, and I'm going to use that same hexagon die to now cut out a hexagon shaped card. So I'm just being very careful that at the top, that cutting line, the scallop part, is not going to cut into the fold. And then when I turn it over, I'm just trying to make sure it's lined up left to right so that I get all the scallops in. So once I have it there, I can tack that in place, and I cut that right out. So I just made sure again that I wasn't going to cut the fold line. And it cut really well, came out in one pass actually. So there's my shaped card now. Now the top is going to be straight, but we'll fix that in just a minute now with this frame. So you can see that that one will now bring back that scallop top edge, but the card will stay together. It does show on the back a little bit. I don't know if that bothers people or not. Now, on a scrap piece of copy paper, I folded it in half, drew in a couple of hearts, and one was slightly bigger than the other, but I'm going to trace around the smaller one onto some white cardstock. I think that was the piece of scrap from the actual card itself. And then I'm taking that "we belong together" sentiment. Now I did cut that in half. I want it to fit within that heart, and I knew it was going to be too wide. So I'm just starting by putting this first one up at the widest point of my heart and stamping that down, and then I can put it together in underneath that so that it all fits within the heart. And so once I had that stamped, then I just fussy cut that out with some little scissors and then erased all my pencil marks. And then with the larger of the two hearts, I traced that onto some scrap red cardstock and ended up gluing those two hearts together. So there's a red outline. You can see it up at the top there. Now on my frame, I've added some double-sided foam tape, and I was trying to be very careful to avoid that scallop top edge because I didn't want the foam tape sticking out the back. I added glue to my foam tape because you need to line up all these little scallops, and if I hadn't put the glue on, the foam tape would just stick and, of course, with my luck, be in the wrong place. So the glue just gives you a bit more wiggle room. But it stands up beautifully, as you can see there. No problems with that. Now on my cows, I've added a bit of foam tape to the head part of it, and then I'm going to add glue to the hoofs and the horns here. So these elephants, these cows are going to be very flush with the back, just because there's the foam tape on the frame and the foam tape on these cows now. Now I didn't quite stick that first one down because I needed to wiggle this one underneath. They're sort of holding hands there. but just the one fits underneath the other, so I was waiting till I could get those squished in together, and then I pushed it down. Now, I did cut a few more of these hearts from this Fun with Words 1 stamp or die set. They were just the perfect size to add in a few little accent hearts. And so there's the sentiment being glued in, and then I just added a bit of glue and added my accent hearts. And honestly, that's the card. I really didn't make it too fussy or anything, but I thought that would be kind of a fun card for kind of a masculine Valentine's Day card, I think. So those cows are so cute. So I had to make a second card. So I'm using the Wonky Window 4 die there and the same tartan papers. I did cut that Wonky Window die out of black cardstock, as you can see, and again out of this green and black tartan paper. And I'm making this into a masculine birthday card. Well, this is as masculine as my birthday cards get, I think. But the guys in my family are all used to this. You're just going to get cute little animals on them. And so they're kind of okay with that. But you can see I'm just inlaying back that tartan paper into the top and the bottom segments. I left the middle one blank, and you'll see what happens there. I'm again adding some foam tape to the heads of these cows. Now, there is no dimension to that background at this point, but because I put the foam tape on, it sort of makes these cows lean up and away from the cardstock, if that makes sense. So it gives them a bit of dimension, even though there's none in the actual card itself. There is with these cows. They sort of pop away from the background. So I'm just putting those two in, one at the top, one at the bottom. And then for my sentiment, I've saved that scrap piece of tartan paper that I had used for the hexagon die in the first card. And yes, there it is there. I was able to just salvage those words out of what was left around the outside of that hexagon, the largest hexagon. So it was kind of nice that these sentiments come in, they're not one word altogether. I could, piece and match it together. So I'm just gluing those in place, and I saved the two little dots for the eyes on a piece of low-tack tape because otherwise I lose these on my desk. So just put those in, and that's this card. So I'm going with that as a masculine card. It looks masculine to me. So there you go. That's two cards for you with those little Highland cows. They are so cute. And that tartan paper goes perfectly with it. So thanks for stopping by, everybody. Hope you'll come back for the next video, and I hope you're having a great day. Bye.